it's Chrissy, and welcome back. I have an amazing person with us who is just sweet as they come to the core. Cannot wait for you to get to know Colleen Torlone with CT Photo Memories. Hey, Colleen.
Hello.
How are you doing, friend?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Well, as can be expected when you're quarantined inside the house.
Exactly. Now, speaking of quarantined inside the house, I did not tell you what we were going to talk about with this, but I'm going to throw it out there. I
Yes.
didn't say throw it under the bus because it's amazing. You and your family have been bringing so much joy to the world with your daily TikTok dancing fun.
Yeah, that was something. That is something. Let me just tell you. So I have three daughters. My last one will be a teenager in June. So basically three teenage daughters. And sometimes you just do what you got to do to relate with them. And the TikTok thing, I wouldn't say that it's really huge. They don't, only one of my daughters has an account really, but it's all private, but they just think they're so funny. And so when my husband, oh my, in all seriousness, he is the one driving this. Like he's the one like, okay, let's go. Find the music. Let's go. We need to learn the moves. We'll learn the moves tonight. Every night it's the same thing. And so, yeah, that's what we do.
Kudos, Anthony. We all thank you out there in social media land because you bring joy to us every day. I look for it. So,
Oh, well, that's great. I know it's going to be fun to be able to take all those videos and put them together into one big video and then be able to watch it all the way through. I mean, I posted number 31 this morning. So we've been doing this a while.
they're in public, aren't they? I think you posted in public.
I post them in the evening right after we make them on my Instagram account,
On your Instagram.
CT Photo Memories Instagram account in stories.
Okay.
And then I post them on my personal Facebook page.
Okay.
So people can see them on the highlights or stories of Instagram, but then I haven't posted too many on my Facebook business page.
All right.
But
everybody out there, go to Instagram land and search CT Photo Memories. Totally will make your day, just saying. And maybe we'll have you back in the future to talk about TikTok. I've actually downloaded it and now I'm checking it out after watching you. And I still don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, I can't say that we all know the moves. Like my middle daughter is typically our choreographer.
Good.
She'll be trying to choreograph. That's the word I want. She'll be trying to choreograph something and she'll be like, oh no, Dad can't do that. So then we'll change it up and do something else.
That is hilarious. Okay, so let's talk about photography. You,
Yes.
I full disclosure, not only have I known you for years, but you're my go-to. You are who I have used multiple times for photos. And I just was telling you that all factual here, you are still in my inbox. You took Jake's senior pictures in 2016, and you are in my inbox because I'm afraid I'll lose that email, and I love the access. So, Colleen, just so you know, she gives you access to the photos when it's over. So thank you. So tell us about your business and CT Photo Memories.
Sure. So I guess just a little backstory. I am an avid reader. I love stories. I just love stories. I'm a former elementary education major teacher. I taught for a while until I had my kiddos. So people and stories and all of that just kind of all swirl around in my head all the time anyway. So photography was a really neat outlet. And my husband just kind of really just kind of pushed me along like, hey, I think you'd be good at this. Why don't you try this? And da da da. Anyway, lo and behold, out came CT Photo Memories. And it's been wonderful. It's been, I believe it, I'm trying to think back as to when it started. It was probably about 2010, 2011. So it's been a while. And it's been wonderful. And I started off doing anything and everything. And then I kind of found my niche when it came to families and then seniors. Now that I have high schoolers, oh my goodness, I love the students. They are super fun. So that's been a fun addition along the way. So
So we've got a post over here on the side, and it's true. It's almost time to be booking Josh's senior picture as a 2021 graduate. So I know, but I'm looking at your website, but let people know if they want to look more at your work and to posting it. We're going to move into some tips in a second, but how do they find out more about how to book you?
Right. So obviously, right now I'm under the on the non-essential ban, so I'm not legally allowed to be doing photography right now. I do know that as we start into the phasing, as I was telling you, I've got ideas already of how I can make sure that I'm not only following the guidelines, but making it fun for families and letting them know and feel safe in the environment. So it may look a little bit different than it has in the past, but I think there's just so many places. We live in a really beautiful area, and so there's lots of places, open air and all of that we can be able to do pictures. But as for class of 2021 and families that want pictures this summer, fall, that sort of thing, the best thing is to go to my website, which is www.ctphotomemories.com, and there are two little bars there with one says families or family session guide. I can't remember because I don't have my computer right in front of me. But then, oh, look, there it is. And then the other one is for class of 2021. And the best thing to do, what I try to offer in this is when you click on that link, it'll take you to an email sign up, and that just gets you on my email list. And I am not someone who floods inboxes. The only reason I'm sending you something is typically just to let you know that I'm starting it up and we got the schedule going. But when you sign up, you'll receive back from me immediately a link to a free session guide. So there is a full free session guide for families, and there's a full free session guide for seniors. And inside that, there are a lot of frequently asked questions, tips on what to wear, do's and don'ts, what to expect when you come to a session, what kind of pictures you get, do you fix acne, those kinds of questions I answer all in there, and then along with investment and those kinds of things. But they'll receive that free immediately just for signing up. And then as soon as I get the green light to go, I actually have a couple handfuls of class of 2020 seniors that they were not able based on their schedule, because, and let's just face it, they are so busy in the fall when things start up senior year. They just couldn't fit it into their schedule. So we needed to get them in the spring. So as soon as I get the green light, they've got their priority. I'm gonna get them taken care of first, and then I'll go from there. But I got nothing else on my calendar. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to fit in everybody.
Exactly. So when do people, if they're booking family pictures, you can do any time of the year, and people may have a reason why they want it at different times. But is there a right time or a most common time to book senior pictures?
This is hard. So I have a senior this year. I know, bummer with all the virus stuff. And that's been a tough thing, which is why my heart is so out there for those class of 2020s. But I actually started my daughter's senior session pictures in the summer because I knew that she wasn't going to have a whole lot going on. I mean, she wants to go to all the Friday football games, and she's got homework, and she's got college visits, and we live in Ohio. So weather, like there's no guarantee. So there were definitely days that I'd be like, oh honey, this will be a really good day. And then like 2 days before, oh, forecast has changed. Now we got to go do another day. So it was definitely easier to get a lot of her pictures taken care of in the summertime. So if it's possible to book then, it's typically easier to do that. In the fall, I do have a lot. That's when a lot of families try to do too. So I'm trying to work around families as well. But I do find that seniors often their school schedules tend to be a little less hectic during the school day. It's a little bit easier load. So, or they have a late start or an early release. And so we take advantage of those times. So there are many times that I'll do a session from like 8 to 10 in the morning on a school day, or like a 2 to 4 in the afternoon on a school day because they're finished with school early and it's before practices begin or, whatever else might be going on. So I think it just depends on schedule and what's best for them. And then just being willing to be flexible with whatever weather we kind of are handed.
Yeah, because we can have 4 seasons in one day in Ohio, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I'm looking at these pictures. All right, I'm going to sign up as soon as I get done, so I get that senior one, and we can book
Yes.
after we get 2020.
Yay.
This summer we're doing Josh.
Yes.
I'm going to throw out there, by the way, my dear friend and previous neighbor Mindy said she went to school with Anthony. So hey, say hello.
Oh, hello. He's out. He's like burning a bunch of brush out in the backyard. Oh my, yeah. That's what he's heading up to today. But I'll let him know.
So we have some people popping in here, and I'll let you know if there's questions. But let's get into some tips for people.
Okay.
You used to teach. Are you going to by chance teach a DSLR class again? Because I have my camera here waiting. If you do.
Yes. So what I what I have done in the past, which was more difficult this year, having a senior. I just found, oh my heavens, having a senior was a little bit more. There were just a lot more things to juggle. I really thought life was going to slow down when they got older. I thought, hey, they're not going to need me to carry them and feed them. Like life's just it's going to be so much easier when they're older. Oh my, it just got faster. And I felt like I'm juggling too many things. So yes, I do still do DSLR classes for people that want to learn how to use their big old camera, because those cameras are pretty remarkable. And I think a lot of times we get them and think, oh, it's just going to take great pictures. And that it is a lot better quality than maybe just an iPhone, even though iPhones are pretty awesome now too. But there are definitely some things that the camera can do, and you can do things, tell it what to do, that just make photography amazing. So what I usually have done in the past is I'll set a date in the wintertime. And because those fall is really busy and then summer tends to be pretty busy. So usually winter and spring is when I tend to do those types of classes. But I also do one-on-one mentoring too for people that kind of like, yeah, I have on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm about a 7. So I have a little bit of knowledge, but I want to go a little bit further. I can meet you right where you are and take you the rest of the way. So
I think I'll wait till your class, because I'm somewhere on the I know how to turn it on mode.
Nice. That's great.
So for those who do not have a DSLR, when to go down that path, can you give us some tips on using a phone, if there's apps or techniques? And then we'll move into some other things about what to wear in scenario or scenery.
Yes. Well, one thing that I have found that people don't often know about their camera, and I wish I don't have I'm using my camera, so I can't show you. But when you put it on the camera on your phone and you're looking to take a picture, we'll have to talk about lighting a little bit here too. Yeah. But the first thing, if you're in a situation you can't control, this is where the person is, you can't move them, and it's too dark. I don't know if people realize that when you press on where you're going to focus, like you hit it to focus on the face, automatically there's like a little yellow box with a little sunshine that goes next to it. And when you start to push that little sunshine up, it will brighten up the subject. Or if it's too bright, let's say you're out on the beach and it's too bright and the light is right on their face, you can push the little sunshine down and it'll darken everything.
Okay.
You are cracking me up.
I'm this many years old before I knew that. Okay.
Well, there you go. So that's one little thing that you can do. I know. So I have the oh golly, what phone do I have? I have the iPhone 11. Oh, the middle one, not the big one. Is the big one like Max, and then mine's Pro, and then there's 11.
Sure.
It's with the 3 cameras. It's like the little 3. Anyway, like look at it's like 3 little cameras in the world. Anyway, I know that mine has the portrait mode, and so on the portrait mode, if you were to switch from photo and go over to portrait, up in the corner, there's a little F. That means f-stop or aperture, which is similar to a DSLR camera. So if you know, like if you've ever used portrait mode, it makes everything blurry. And the reason that it does that is because of that little F number up there. So if you were to push that F number and make the number go to a smaller number, like 2 or 1 point something, I can't remember what it will go to, it will make even more blur. I think it's defaulted to 4.5, but if ever you're in a situation like you wanted to get a rose or a cherry blossom and you wanted everything else super blurry, you could get your camera all in there, push that f-stop number and make it go down to like a 1.4, 1.8, whatever they'll let you go to, the lowest number, and it will make everything really blurry except for what you're focused on.
Wow.
There you go.
Amazing. I know. Now it's time to go. It's a sunny day. This is the perfect
there you go.
for this conversation. Now everybody can head outside with social distance, with space, and maybe in your yard or
there you go.
And go try some switching around on your phone.
Yeah, those are just little. Yeah, that's just little stuff. So,
yeah. Do you have any apps that you think are like key, or really just sticking with the camera?
I really try, because like, you know, like I talked about before, it's not like I have a lot of extra time. And if I do, I'm usually reading. So I really try to just get the pictures to look great, as great as I can, coming straight out of camera. So if I can get that exposure just right so I don't have to tweak it too much, then if anything, like an Instagram, I might up the contrast or up the brightness, something like that. But I usually don't twiddle with it too much. So
totally got it. And filters are also out there. People want to mess with those, but that's a whole other story.
Right. Whole nother thing. Yeah.
So somebody's getting ready for pictures, whether it's senior or family pictures. What do you have as far as suggestions on colors or types of clothing to wear? Crazy busy or?
You know what? I've had it's been the gamut when it comes to people. And remember, I told you that I love stories. So for me, it really has to do with the personality of a person. If you think of a story, this is the way my brain works. Okay. So if you think of a story, you have story elements, right? You have the character, you have the setting, you have details, and you have the action. So those are all things that are going through my head whenever I'm doing any type of session, family session or senior session, right? So in my mind, I'm thinking of the character. So when I am talking with seniors or families, I'm usually encouraging them to wear things that they feel the most them in. Like, you'll find me in a lot of green because it's my favorite color. And so I love to wear green. Now, I will wear pink from time to time because my girls are like, Mom, you're a girl, you should wear some pink. I was one of those moms that my kids were always in denim. I never had bows in their hair. Like it was so funny, which is totally fine, but it just makes me laugh. So I just encourage a lot. So I've had people wear Hawaiian shirts. I've had people want, just monochromatic, which is totally fine too. My personality has a little bit more color and just, I love vivid and bright. So that would probably be more me. When it comes to family pictures, I typically say find somebody, one of the peoples in the family have a pattern or something with lots of different colors, and everybody pick a color from there, or a shade. Okay. Like if you're going to do pink, don't just everybody wear the same color pink. Make someone a magenta and somebody a baby pink and somebody else in denim and then somebody else in, a little pop of yellow or something like that. You just kind of want some complementary colors. But as for seniors, I usually tell them whatever it is that's really going to make your character personality pop, do that. And then if there are details like earrings or necklaces or awards or things, let's include those as well. And then my job is to come up with the settings that will complement that will make the character and those details really pop. The setting is not overly important, except as it matters to make the individual showcased.
Interesting. So they don't have to be, if families don't have to be the same color, just coordinating colors.
Yeah. Yep. And in my session guide, I have a lot of examples of that. A lot of examples. And I also, on my website, I have a lot of galleries you can go through. And I typically try to put 3 or 4 pictures from one session, just so you can kind of see how they all go together. Because I try to, in a gallery, I try to tell a story, meaning that I try to get all the different story elements in a session so that you have, I like to call them story walls. So when you have all these pictures, if you choose to get them printed out or put them in an album on Facebook, someone could go through them and feel like they're looking at a story. Like they're getting the character development, they're getting the action, they're getting the relationship, they're getting the little tiny details, and it becomes one big story unfolding.
So it's kind of like when we were kids in school and you would like draw and then you'd flip the book and see the action.
Yeah.
That's where I'm thinking with that.
That's great.
Absolutely. And I know when you're done with a photo shoot, I've seen you put the pictures out, at least on Instagram and probably Facebook, and people can see it and start to fall in love with it as well. So that's pretty cool. And you've said people should go check out ctphotomemories.com. You've got a Facebook page and Instagram page, right?
Yes.
Do you have any other tips for us, Colleen? We could be here all day because I have a lot.
I know. It's like my favorite thing. I would say one of the things, light is really, I would say, probably the most important thing when it comes to photography. It's so funny when we were setting up for this interview, I was taking my phone and going through my house, like, where can I get the best light, right? Because the most important thing, right, is you want the character to shine. That's the most important thing. So you're trying to think of the things that go through my mind. You want even light. Have you ever been like outside and the sun is right on you and you're squinting, right? You don't like that. You got the dark circles under your eyes, because anywhere that there is any type of anything that's not flat, so you've got your nose, your lips, you're going to have little shadows underneath them, right? You don't want that. You want everything to be even light. Or if you're standing and the sun is off to one side, you're going to get this side is all bright, and then you've got this side is all dark. So you have to kind of be aware of where the sun's very directional, and it's going to hit you and make little pockets of shadows, and you want to try to avoid that. So being mindful of that when you're outside and knowing where the sun is. I think one of the other things that it was really helpful for me when I was even starting out in photography was also realizing that the light is reflective. So if you're outside and you're like, oh, my girls are really, really sensitive to the sun, I cannot put them in a really, really sunshiny place, because they just, even if they're in the shade, they're like this. So I have to be really cautious about it. So when I find a shady space, I usually am trying to find a surface that is nearby that the light can reflect on. So for example, if you're in your garage, a lot of times with the driveway can reflect light really well. So you can be in perfect shade, but then that light is reflected and it's really, really nice and soft, and it's not like killing your eyes. So just being aware of even light and where your shade is, and then also being aware of places that can reflect the light for you so that you don't need a flash. I hate the flash.
Yeah.
I try to avoid it
as it is as well, right? The flash.
Right. So I don't know if that made sense.
I have a ring light here. I'll be straight up honest. So I have a little bit of light here, but I know that so many people have those ones that clip onto a phone. Are those good? Do you suggest that?
Well, okay. So here's my first thing. If you want to capture whatever you need to capture, that's part of the story. That's the most important thing. So if that's the only way you can do it, get it, right? If you can manipulate the situation to avoid having to use the flash, that would be like, that's what I would do first off. But if I can't, then yes, then use it. Just be aware. This is one of those sad things. Like, I've seen people have like a flash on their camera, like the little pop-up flash, and they're in a stadium or like at a basketball game or whatever, and they're like way up in the stands and they're trying to take a picture, even with the zoom lens, but that little pop-up flash goes up. That's like, that only goes about 5 to 6 feet max, that little pop-up flash. So really that's not doing anything
Okay.
to really help the situation. An external flash, like one of those big old ones you put on a DSLR camera, might be more helpful. But even then, when I use those, I bounce it. I'll bounce the light behind me so that it won't be so in people's eyes.
So I know that you've got teens there, so I don't know if they're, big on this or not, but selfies have taken over the world. And hints you can tell anyone out there who likes to do the selfies?
Oh my. Oh, wow.
I love you.
Well, hey, it's part of the story, right? It's part of their it's just part of their communication and everything. So yeah, helpful hints on selfies. I guess if you're gonna do it, again, same thing that I did with my camera. At least like move around and see where you can find the best light, as opposed to just taking it wherever. So if you want it to look good, do that. Like just move around a little bit and just kind of see, make sure that there aren't shadows or whatever underneath your eyes if you're doing that. Or be creative. Get only half of your face or just the top half. Just, mix it up a little.
That sounds awesome. Hey, speaking of mixing it up, so we do have, I know Mindy has a little guy, cutie pie, by the way, and my grandson's too. So when you're getting little people in the picture, that can be a challenge. So what do you do? How do you go with it? Let it go? Or how do you get them to focus? Or what do you do?
Right. So I'm a big proponent of not making people sit still and smile like this, because every time I'm telling, that's what I get. Like, this is not real.
Right.
This is not a real smile. I want genuine smiles. So typically what that means is, especially with little kiddos, it means always having my camera ready and talking at them the entire time, singing goofy songs, whatever, doing something silly, and then being ready at that moment to snap it when they do the thing that's the cutest that I want to capture. And that's how I do my sessions a lot of times too. It's very much me just jabbering and going back and forth with, crazy sounds and songs and jokes and this, that, and the other. And then there it is. And
that is perfect. So don't have an unrealistic expectation. Meet them where they are and you be ready. Don't expect them to be ready.
Right. But you can also put them in settings that make it more conducive. So for example, when my girls were little, the front part of my house gets the best light. So I would set their toys up in that room so that I could get really cute pictures of them playing with their toys with the best light, so that it didn't look dark or whatever. So again, when you can manipulate it a little bit, it doesn't hurt.
So speaking of your girls, I'm pretty sure that they've only had a couple pictures of taken of them in life.
Right.
What do you do with photo storage? Do you still print? Is it all digital? How do you save them? How do you organize them?
Yeah. So my joke to my girls is that whenever they move out one day, I'm just going to buy the biggest external hard drive that I can possibly find and load everything onto it. Here is your life, your pictures. So one of the things that I do, so the other thing that you have to know about me is that I tend to be rather, I tend to have a frugal sense. It's not that I go cheap, but I do look for a deal, and I do try to keep a realistic, like, how important is this kind of thing, right? So I know that I could do amazing albums and print them out and all that kind of stuff. And I know that there are a lot of options out there. At the same time, my daughter's going to college. So, there's that, the pay for. So I try to find like a balance of like, this is important to me. I want this documented and I want to have record of it. At the same time, how nice does it need to be when she needs to be on a food program for school? So anyway, all that to say, yes, I do print them out. I have different ways that I display them. 4x6s are really inexpensive to get. So I typically print off those seasonally. Like I'll just print them off randomly of what's going on. And I have one of those, oh boy, like you can slip the pictures in. It's this long rod. I think it's like from Pottery Barn Outlet a long time ago. But it's just a place you just stick pictures in, like Christmas cards or something like that. I use it for Christmas cards in the wintertime. So I do print those off. But I also have a family yearbook that I do, and I just do it through Shutterfly, which they do a pretty good job on the inside pictures. I'm not overly crazy about the covers, but again, sometimes you just let certain things go. But I do make a yearbook, and those are my kids' favorites. They love pulling those out. I just make the big 12x12 books, and I just throw a lot of those different things in. There are just countless ways and things to do. I think I mentioned story walls, where you basically have maybe one big picture of the whole family, but then you have a 5x7 and an 8x10, and then 4x6, 4x6, and something all over. And you just print out different pictures from that session that makes your story, like the big picture can be the whole family. Something that my
daughter, the story wall, you're saying to print and actually put on the wall,
right, as frames. Correct. Yep. So that's another thing that we do for my family. And of course, we all have digital albums on Facebook, or if you store them. I have a subscription to a gallery where I keep all of my pictures. It's a yearly subscription, so I can store all of my pictures. I can get them printed, or I can just store them, or whatever the case may be. One of the things that my daughter, my senior daughter, and I are working on, we're in the process of right now during this quarantine time, we bought one of those, and I actually brought, it's like a little bullet journal kind of thing. And you can get those pretty inexpensively, but we took a lot of the pictures from her iPhone, but then also pictures that I've taken. And in my Photoshop program, we shrunk them down to little sizes so that they'd fit on this kind of thing. And she's making a scrapbook of her senior year, basically using all the pictures and just the story. And we're taping in, like we're just using washi tape and stuff, and taping in homecoming ticket, or the parking permit, or any type of little memento, just kind of taping it in or whatever.
So turning a planner or a journal into a memory. Oh, I like that, because we've all got that. And really, that's probably one of my favorite memes for 2020. Why did we all buy? We spent time and money to get that planner.
Right. You know what we started doing, what our family starts, so we have one of those, I'm sure a lot of families have this, the big calendar, right, that you have in your kitchen or something, where everybody puts there was nothing in April, right? So what we started doing, because all of the days just started running into one another, now instead of the day before, it's the day after, we look to the day and we write all the things we did in that day. So now when we're like, what did we do last Tuesday? I don't even remember what day was Tuesday. Let's go see what we did. And so we can look through, that was the day we had spaghetti. Great. Okay.
That's a great idea, because my calendar is pretty much turned into just meal planning. So
exactly.
That is a fabulous idea. I'm sure you've made everybody out there laugh just as much as you do me always. So I thank you so much, Colleen. I wish you and Anthony and the girls all the best, and stay healthy. And please, please, please keep those TikToks coming while we're home.
Today is supposed to be number 32. So yeah, I'm telling you, Anthony will not stop. I keep telling them, I think we've done a month's worth. We're good.
No.
No,
No.
let's go.
Kudos to Anthony. I love it. Ramona God says hello, by the way.
Oh, hello.
Yay. All right, I'm going to let you go get back to the family so you can get that TikTok made because I will be looking for number 32. But in the meantime, everybody out there, please go check out CT Photo Memories. And after your seniors get done from the 2020, the rest of us will start flooding you and filling you up for the fall and hopefully summer if we're allowed to.
Yes, I can't wait. I'm so excited. I'm such an extroverted person too, so I've missed the face-to-face. I'm so thankful that if this was going to happen, that it happened in this era and not like when we were younger. We wouldn't have had, like, I would have had a limit as to how long I could be on the landline, right? So this is great.
You have another question over here about people lining up to get lessons on TikTok, so another day. All right. Hey, Colleen, have a fabulous day. Thank you to everybody out there for watching. This is actually day 34 for this quarantine and many videos yet to come. So if you know anybody who has a business that would like to be highlighted like this, give me a call or send me a message. Would love to do that. And if you know anybody looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, give me a call. Homes by Chrissy. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Colleen.